London Real, sponsored by Bulletproof Coffee.
A bit of what you talk about as far as happy hour is 9 to 5. You must get a lot of
Sure.
people that are just like, oh, Alex, I know where you're going and I don't want to hear it. So what do you tell people when they first hear about you and your book?
Well, the message is not that complicated. The fact is that unless you're filthy rich, you're going to have to work. And not only are you going to have to work, you're going to spend more of your waking hours in a workplace than on anything else. Okay?
Anything else? Any hobby, any TV, any children?
We know, they've done time studies to figure out what people spend their time on over an entire lifetime. And number one is sleep, and number two is work. Okay, so you're going to spend more time at work than you are with your children, with your family, with your spouse, and your hobbies, and anything else.
Right.
And the question is, given that you're going to spend that much time at work, do you want that time to be, something that makes you stressed, frustrated, unhappy, miserable, scared? Or do you want it to be something that you enjoy, something that you feel good about? Do you want to wake up in the mornings, being excited about going to work? That's basically the proposition. Given that we have to work, why not be happy, and enjoy our jobs?
Right. And in Britain, it's like, I've heard different studies, but like half of all people are unhappy at work. Or I would say maybe it's more than that.
It could easily be. It could easily be. The studies I've seen say it's around 40 to 45% of people in Britain don't like their jobs.
Don't like their jobs. Now, in Denmark, you have a word for loving your job.
We
right?
do indeed.
Can you hit me with that word and tell me what that means?
Well, I'll start by saying that I know Danish is a horrible, horrible language, okay?
How come you guys get so much hate,
Yeah, I know, but here the word is arbejdsglæde in Danish.
Why do people find that horrible? Just because it's so difficult?
It's the sound.
The sounds.
Yeah, Danish is a horrible language. Okay. Anyway, arbejde means work. And glæde means happiness, gladness, basically.
Okay.
So it just means work, happiness. Now, but the interesting thing is that this word exists only in the Scandinavian languages. This word does not exist in English or in German or in French or in Japanese or in Russian.
Right.
And this is not a coincidence. The reason we have a word for this in Scandinavian and in Denmark is that it's just a normal part of our workplace culture. In Denmark, when people have a job, they fully expect to have a job they enjoy, a job they like. And if they don't, they will do something they will either quit and find a different job, or they will do something to become happy where they are. This is not the case in the rest of the world. When I go to Britain to speak, especially when I go to the US,
really?
Attitudes are completely different. And people are like, one guy in the US told me, he said, well, of course I hate my job. That's why I get paid. A lot of people they expect to hate their jobs. They think that's normal. They think that's the way it is everywhere, and that is just not true. I realize that right now most people don't like their jobs, but that's not the way it has to be, and there are so many great workplaces out there and so many people who love what they do.
It's interesting you say America, because I'm from America, and there's so many stereotypes when you think of Americans. They work hard.
Yeah.
They not only work hard, they tell everyone how hard they work.
Exactly.
They work the long hours, but then you look at the productivity index and you find that the French workers are more productive. And then America is a country of immigrants who you make your fortune on what you've done.
Yeah.
Americans don't care about what your last name is or what your accent is, like they might in this country. They care about what you've done. But at the same time, like you said, it seems to be like people are always talking about the money.
Yeah.
I work to get the money. I work to get the money.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be this, I work because I enjoy what I do.
Exactly.
From America, that is.
That's very true. I mean, I think Americans very much identify with their status in life and with their success, certainly to a higher degree than people do in Scandinavia. But here's the thing, though, is that if you are happy at work, you are much more likely to be successful at work. It's not like you have to choose, you can either be successful or happy. It actually turns out that if you like your job, you do a much better job and you are much more likely to be successful. And there are studies that show that people who are happy at work, on average, have a higher lifetime income than people who are unhappy at work. So this idea that the harder you work, the more you struggle, the more you hate your job, the more successful you will be, that actually turns out to be exactly wrong. And if you really want to be successful at your job, you should find a job you love.
Right.